Octane's production might sound complex, but the key to these Don Toliver beats is using the right sounds, not the most amount of sounds. Production on this project could be broken down into 3 simple steps. 1, coming up with a simple basis using 1 to 3 sounds at most. Then adding layers and surrounding melodies to create a full, structured out sample with multiple different parts. Then finally, some simple but catchy trap drums to throw on top of that. And that's how you get this. First off, almost every single song in this album has a synth bass, as well as synth chords or a pad.
Diamonds on my head, diamonds on my shoes. Take it back to school, baby, when it this shit get raw. Don't fuck with the law, I call my little baby when I'm lit. Don't care about the cost of fucking the job.
So I just started out with these 2 bass presets. Then for our chord basis, we just have these simple keys. And just like that, we're already done with step 1. It's really one simple idea with a couple layers on top of it, which brings us to step 2. To create different sections in our sample, I simply just layered those same chords on a few different presets and played those instead of our main sound. A great tip for this layering section is to choose sounds that have a lot of movement in them. This makes everything sound like there's so much more going on and is a key part of these Don Toliver beats. Also notice for this last brass, since it was just kind of a very still sound, I ended up changing the MIDI and I moved these notes over. One final chord layer I did was I exported the original chords from the beginning, went over here, went to chop, and chopped it into beats, and then I'll use the slider to give it a choppy feeling. Now that we have a bunch of different chord layers, it allows us to have different sections which sound completely different from one another, even though we're not adding anything new. And from there, to top off the entire melody, I just added a couple catchy synth leads like what you could hear on Secondhand, Tiramisu, or ATM.
All I ever wanted in life.
But if we're being honest, these melodies just sound boring. They don't sound big and cinematic like the Don Toliver songs. Mixing is a completely overlooked part of making your melodies, but it can completely change the sound. So on both of these melodies, to make them sound bigger and fit in the mix, I added the following. First off, saturation knob. This is essential to use on any synths because it gives it a more realistic feeling. Don Toliver, Travis Scott, and all these big artists, they play out their melodies on real synths. In order to replicate that gritty, realistic sound you get. You can add over a plugin like this, which saturates it slightly. Next up is this delay plugin, and I've really turned all the stuff up, especially this distortion down here. And the way this plugin works, the delay doesn't really start until the sound's completely done. So at the end of the pattern, you'll hear like this distorted delay, but I wanted delay going throughout it as well. So I added this Echo Boy plugin. It just used one of the presets. From there, I added reverb. I usually don't add too much reverb. You don't want to over process your sounds. Over processed sounds just sound muddy and don't fit in the mix at all, but this one actually used reverb, so use reverb sparingly. But finally, an EQ, just to EQ out some of the messy frequencies and make everything sit together. And just like that, step 2 is done. Simple ideas, layers to make them sound bigger. So that being said, this is the final melody. From there, I bounced it into an audio file, pitched it down 2 semitones, and slowed it down from 157 BPM to 150 BPM. First off, structurally, a lot of these songs, they don't just go right into a drop. They start with just the 808s and melody, then drop. So that's what I did here in my beat. Now going into the drop, a lot of the songs switch between the 808 and a more synthy sounding bass. So I did that here in my beat as well. I just layered that with a kick, clap, and a couple other sounds. Most of the songs in this album don't have many percussion elements at all. Finally, for the hi-hats, keep them bouncy, but definitely have some space in there. I don't have it just 2-step all the way. And that is the full drum pattern right there. In terms of arrangement, I didn't do much at all. I just kind of let the melody do its thing. I already mentioned the 808 before the drop, and then from there, it's just the drums. Like, I don't really change much at all. So here's the final beat. Hope this video helped you. All of the drum sounds come from my Discord community kit. This thing's free if you're inside the Discord. It's in the description. Go join. See you guys in the next one.